Hello, everyone. Welcome to this wild adventure. You've never seen such a crazy scene. Watch our heroes fend off terrifying car gangs on the bridge of the undead. Just as they were about to crash into a giant rock, Matt shouted a warning. In the next second, the car zipped past the rock like some graceful ballet move. But lo and behold, an unexpected twist occurred. Suddenly, a misstep and the door faltered. Eventually, they fell. The undead bridge caused chaos with a sharp turn, and everyone pleaded with Max to turn back. But Max, with determined eyes, calmly confirmed to Rabid Machine he had seen the off-road to squash him. So, Rabid Machine agreed to move on, while Undead Bridge laughed hauntingly, embracing his wife's body. He then ordered to continue the chase, vowing to dismantle Rabid Machine and Max. Even though they temporarily escaped their pursuers, they dared not stop. Rabid Machine informed Max they were heading to the desert oasis. It's a survival paradise post-apocalypse. The red-haired lady watched the rear, fearing a sneak attack, but she unexpectedly spotted War South in a corner. Nux regretted his bloodband killed his wife on the Undead Bridge. He was unworthy of Valhalla. Eventually, with the red-haired lady's comfort, he stopped worshipping the Undead Bridge as they arrived at the swamp at night. Little did they know they'd get stuck in the mud, spinning in place, while the enemies closed in, intensifying the tension. Everyone hurried to change tires, while Max cleverly set bombs along the tracks to delay the pursuers. Then they continued their escape. Soon enough, with a booming explosion, the enemy vehicles were instantly obliterated, and they found themselves stuck in the mud again, while the leader was impatient, so he drove his tank ahead, leaving the main team behind, and on the other side, they barely drove far when Rabid Machine and crew stuck in mud again, had to use steel plates to push, too slippery. But the tank moved freely in the swamp, shining spotlights everywhere, fearless. The leader fired a signal shot. Rabid Machine rushed back to investigate. Just then, the tank suddenly revved up. Everyone rushed to catch up, only to find it was War South. The red-haired lady desperately defended him while the pursuing leader shot madly ahead, and Max aimed for a sniper shot but missed. The ammo was running low. After Max fired a diversion, he had only one bullet left. Rabid Machine stepped up to request it, and Max decisively handed the sniper rifle to him. Rabid Machine adjusted the scope and reminded him to hold his breath, then promptly squeezed the trigger. As the bullet soared through the air, it mercilessly struck the enemy tank's searchlight, instantaneously immersing the enemy in boundless darkness. Max wrapped the chain around a dead tree, struggling to pull the vehicle, and ultimately escaped the predicament. However, soon the blood-silver engine overheated, forcing them to halt. Max desperately fought off enemies, followed by a thunderous bang. The others rushed back to check the situation. Rabid Machine kept his gun aimed at the rear. Then Max emerged from the mist, returning like a hero. He wiped out enemies, seized weapons, and brought back a new steering wheel. But they passed the dead zone where nuclear radiation had acidified the land. Tragic. After great hardship, they reached Rabid Machine's oasis memory, greeted by endless yellow sand with an oasis. As the tank ventured deeper into the desert, Rabid Machine spotted a reflective signal from a tower, immediately jumping out to shout his origins. What an angry little bird. Just then, Hedemine shadow bikes emerged around the desert. The leader woman dramatically approached, announcing, "Guess who?" Turns out, the Rabid Machine was once an abducted female tribesman. These were the relatives she sought like a long-lost reunion. Before she had the chance to savor the immense joy of the reunion, she was instantly overwhelmed by an unforgiving wave of despair. The Rabid Machine, in a state of disbelief, cast aside her gear, collapsing helplessly onto the sand, where she let out a piercing, heartbreaking laugh towards the sky. What a deeply lamentable tragedy this truly is. She originally planned to ride 160 days across the harsh desert looking for a new home. However, Max proposed to storm back to the Undead Bridge's fortress, leaving everyone bewildered was he out of his mind. But Max argued there was a water source in Greenery. The Undead Bridge had mobilized all his forces for the chase. This was prime opportunity. With Rabid Machine's agreement, the team turned the tank around. Meanwhile, the Undead Bridge mourned the loss of his offspring not far away. The scouts spotted their movements, and the crafty Undead Bridge immediately catches onto their intent, issuing orders as the war boys geared up for action. In no time, from all directions, hordes of pursuit vehicles flooded in. It was like a wild party. They barely had a chance to strike before the tribesmen pounced, and the battle was completely out of control. To shake off the enemies, Nox rushed to the engine, using his mouth to spray gasoline in, and sure enough, the vehicle shot forward. However, the enemy warboys tried the same trick to overtake them, but their engine malfunctioned in an instant. Both raced on. Rabid Machine's tribesmen overtook them easily on off-road bikes. But before the dust settled on one problem, another arose. The tank's engine malfunctioned, and their speed dropped drastically, with enemies closing in. The tribesmen circled around in their off-road bikes trying to block the enemies, but the opposing team unleashed the secret weapon and flipped the vehicle. With nowhere to escape, the women immediately grabbed their weapons, targeting the Undead Bridge's tank with frantic fire. Alas, it was futile. The enemy's tank had bulletproof glass, completely negating their attacks. Faced with sudden attacks, the ladies quickly dove down for cover, then sprang back up to return fire. Yet they didn't notice the lurking threat behind, as the enemy truck sped in, instantly tensing the atmosphere to the extreme. The Rabid Machine's convoy launched a full-scale attack attempting to slow them down. The strategy unfolded quickly. With his keen eye, Max rushed to the back to attempt to sever the chains. This scene was absolutely thrilling.